The iPhone XR has the same A12 Bionic chip as the other two phones, the same RAM, the same new upgraded internal specs, the same Face ID, the same notch, the same iOS 12, the same speakers, the same Lightning. So what's different? First off, it's an LCD display instead of the OLED in the other two phones. But it's also worth noting it's a lower resolution as well, 1792 by 828. So a little bit above 720p on a 6.1-inch display. So it's not going to be the sharpest screen in the world. It's still over 300 pixels per inch, but you can't even watch 1080p HD videos. And then the other difference with the display is the bezels all the way around are just slightly thicker. The screen is still True Tone. It still has touch to wake, but it's now lacking 3D touch, so no force pressing things anymore on iPhone XR. But to be honest, they kind of built around that with a long press in areas where 3D touch might be missed, like the control center. And truthfully, I won't really miss it. I barely use 3D touch ever anyway. Another major difference, iPhone XR has a single camera, as you can see, instead of the dual camera setup. So this single camera is the same as the primary one on the XS. It's the newest 12 megapixel camera with optical image stabilization, an f1.8 aperture, new image processing, all that. And it still has actually that software-enabled portrait mode as well, including the adjustment of the bokeh effect and everything. So you're really not missing out on much of anything in the camera department at all, just literally the telephoto lens, which is impressive. And then other minor things, the iPhone XR is IP67 rated, not IP68. But the real difference, the head turner that you've definitely noticed by now, is all these new colors. iPhone XR comes in 6 new colors: red, blue, coral, yellow, white, and black. And I'm gonna go through each one of these with like a sort of a mini review because that's what we do here, right? Okay, so let's start with the coral. It's this sort of a peachy pastel color, maybe more of a salmon depending on how the light hits it. And then all these iPhone XRs have aluminum frames instead of stainless steel, so they do color the frames too. And this salmon has a sort of like this pale orange frame to it. It's all right. I'm going to go 6 out of 10. White is sort of like your de facto standard. So it actually is brighter and actually white compared to the silver that we have on the iPhone X. So it's actually different. And then the sides are still silver, but they're also pretty bright. Not really a whole ton of contrast on this phone since everything is so bright here. But hey, if you like to keep it clean, this is the clean look. I'm going to go 6.5 out of 10. Then there's the blue. This is nice. This is like a sky baby blue type of look. And the rails are even more pale blue, but they go together since they both sort of feel like a desaturated in a way. I'm going to go 8 out of 10. Then black. You already know, I got a soft spot for matte black, and this one is right up that alley. Only downside is this one is definitely going to show the most fingerprints. So I'm going 8 out of 10 again. Then yellow. This one has like a taxi vibe to it. I don't know, there's not a whole lot of yellow items in my life, but if they were, I'm sure this would be more saturated yellow than all of them. And this wouldn't be so bad, but the aluminum sides of this one are really pale, like almost different color yellow. It's kind of weird. It just sort of reminds me of the worst version of the iPhone 5C. I wasn't into that. Not my style. Sorry, yellow. 4 out of 10. And then last but not least, product red. Damn, this is nice. This is like a deep, rich Ferrari red. And it has that black front, and the colored camera ring looks good on pretty much all these phones, but I'd say looks the best here. And the aluminum frame matches, I'd say, the most closely of any of the colors aside from the white. This one is a winner, easily my favorite color option, 9.5 out of 10. But there you have it. That is iPhone XR. It's like that. It's a funky Frankenstein iPhone with some things from iPhone 8, some things from iPhone X. It kind of technically qualifies in that way as a new design. And you can even kind of see some of the color of the aluminum frame up on the front. So a wallpaper that matches it does make a real difference. Basically, you can look at this phone as sort of the new iPhone 8. This is the ideal upgrade for someone on an iPhone 8 or older right now, not an iPhone X.
零视频 APP 等你下载。